Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, warm welcome. I know you haven't seen each other for a long time. Some of you are networking, so it's a great time for networking, definitely these 3 days. But please, let's start with today's ceremony and the most important things today. So first of all, how are you? Good. Seems like it's a sunny day finally after the rain yesterday, so I think you look like you're in good vibe and happy. I'm so glad to see you here. First of all, dear friends of European Strategy for the Adriatic-Ionian region, first of all, good morning and a warm welcome here. Last year, you were on some other position. This year, you're here on Croatian coast in beautiful Šibenik. Suppose some of you are first time here. First time in Šibenik? Okay, some of you, not so many. I hope you will enjoy it. So this Wednesday, 15th of May, my job is to be your master of the ceremony, to be your host through the day, through the ceremony, before the lunch, and after that on the panel. My name is Katarina Moscatello. Some of you I know from before, some of you I see first time. I'm so glad that I will be today with you and learn completely something new. Thank you for that in advance. So first of all, I was trying to catch up how many of you are here today, and we are overjoyed because, as I heard, through these 3 days, more than 700 participants in this forum is here in Šibenik. So please, one big warm welcome for all of you here. I need to tell you, we are so excited to start this today program. You have everything, of course, you know where's your program. You checked it on your phone, I suppose. So be on time everywhere, because here in Croatia, we are a little bit like, easygoing. Maybe we are not always on time, but no worries. We will be on a good vibe. That's the most important thing, and we will do why are we here. So, but before we go on the Croatian presidency, Adriatic-Ionian strategy and initiative, our host of the forum, when we were preparing all of this, asked me, can we make some small surprise for you? So for the beginning, I think we are ready. If my guys there are ready, we are ready for the surprise.
Croatia took over the presidency of the EUSAIR and the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative from Bosnia and Herzegovina in May 2023 during the 8th EUSAIR Forum in Sarajevo. Main political goals of the presidency were swift but meaningful revision of the action plan, better contribution to the EU enlargement process, better balance between blue and green components, regular dialogue between all important bodies in order to improve funding and efficiency. Main thematic goals were aligned with thematic pillars: greater resilience through better connectivity, including transport, energy, and digital connectivity. Sustainable growth and tourism through green tourism. Protection of biodiversity through sustainable fishing practices. Use of marine robotics and advanced technologies in blue economy. Reduction of microplastics in marine and inland waterways ecosystems. Improve social cohesion, introducing new strategy pillar, focusing on employment, skills development, social entrepreneurship, social inclusion of vulnerable groups, women empowerment. Together with all partners, we improved strategy governance and provided better youth participation through the establishment of the Youth Council. Croatian presidency delivered 14 official meetings, 13 conferences, roundtables and workshops, and 1 EUSAIR forum. We gathered hundreds of participants from all of the participating countries. We covered many important topics of interest for the strategy and the initiative. Thank you for participating with your knowledge, enthusiasm and abundance of new ideas in our common endeavour to make the Adriatic-Ionian macro region a happier and more prosperous place. Oh, and we had a great time making you feel welcome here. So please enjoy, share and learn, because we only have one of these per year. Good luck, Greece.
Good luck, Greece. Great job you done here in the last year. Thank you a lot, and a great video. I suppose some of you maybe recognize themselves here. So I was a little bit curious while preparing all of these, and I was curious about EUSAIR, because if you are not in a part of that, you're not sure in every case what are you talking about, and you need to be sure what are you talking about. So I decided to make a small test for me and for you, maybe, if you are sleeping for about past 8 years, maybe. So let me say what I learned about the Adriatic-Ionian strategy, and you will tell me, is that right or am I wrong? I think that's the best way that we start here. So I think it goes something like this. First of all, you have a group of countries. Did I get it right? You have a group of countries that belong to a specific geographical area and which share some of their traditions, cultures, of course, identities. And they also share some of economic and social problems. So that simply refuse to respect national borders. Is that right? Yeah? Yeah. You're not helping me. Yes? Okay, thank you a lot. Nice. 1 point for me. Number 2, you have them sit around the same table, usually, and tell them to talk about their problems and whether they have some ideas how to fix them, sort of like something like group therapy, let me say. Yeah? It is? Okay, thank you a lot. And number 3, you instruct them to put those potential solutions on a paper to resemble something called a bankable project and to go all around and look for ways and means to implement them and make them like problem to go away. Yeah? Okay, nice. That's a magic, I think. And you repeat that whole thing for a different challenge all over again. Yeah. Nice. Then one applause for you because you're doing a great job here. Simple and beautiful, and it works. I like it a lot. So, instruments that support territorial cooperation, boost cohesion, overcome obstacles across borders, everything around that we'll talk about today is a great thing for society and for a country that you're coming from. So, a warm welcome one more time. Here in Croatia, bienvenido, benvenuti, willkommen. Have a nice day. I hope you will enjoy everything that is ahead of us. In reality, it's not so much dramatic, maybe, as I try to explain now. In the next couple of days, 2 days, we will be hearing a lot about the challenges of the Adriatic-Ionian macro-region faces. We will hear some smart people around you that will tell us what are the best way to come to the solution. And before that, we want to give our hosts and high officials, of course, that came here in Šibenik also, an opportunity to welcome you and give us their introductory remarks, because they're also very happy to be here and excited to be here with you. After that, we will have one high-level panel discussion on post-27 cohesion policy. You know about that. You checked your program? Okay. Just to be sure, which will be followed by the presidency handover ceremony that will take part here. You see the flowers here, already prepared. It's between Croatia and Greece, of course, and a family photo for all heads of delegation before lunch. One small thing. So the time, we are not like airplane. The time we should have lunch, it will be around 12:30. But we are in Croatia, as I tell you already. We are really easygoing people, so it depends about time, about panel, about speeches, about everything. Enough talk of me. I think we are ready to start with the program today. So, I'm ready to call first of all, Mr. Željko Burić, Mayor of the Šibenik, will give us his opening remarks today. So glad to see you here. Up, easy. Enjoy.
Poštovane dame i gospodo, dragi gosti grada Šibenika, zaista mi je užitak što vam mogu izraziti dobrodošlicu i u svoje osobno ime i ime grada Šibenika. Grada koji bilježi od 1066. svoje postojanje na istočnim obalama Mediterana i kažu da smo najstariji grad kojeg su osnovali Hrvati. Uz dužno poštovanje susjedima i Zadranima i Splićanima i Solinjanima, oni imaju rimsku povijest. No, usprkos bogatoj povijesti, kulturnom nasljeđu, Šibenik je bio praktički neprepoznatljiv sve do formiranja vlastite države, odnosno do završetka Domovinskog rata. Da, bio je prepoznatljiv u nekim bivšem kontekstu društvenih zbivanja kao grad prljave, kako Dalmatinci kažu, šporke industrije, grad iz kojega je i domicilno stanovništvo u ljetnoj sezoni iseljavalo jer se nije imalo gdje okupati, bez obzira na činjenicu što smo na Jadranskom moru ili još bolje u estruaru rijeke Krke. Nakon Domovinskog rata Šibenik bilježi stagnaciju i neprepoznatljivost. Zbog čega to pričam? Prljava industrija je stala i zbog ratnih djelovanja, ali i zbog novog koncepta razvoja. Upravo europska integracija, ulazak Hrvatske u Europsku uniju 2013. godine je početak preporoda grada Šibenika. U zadnjih 10 godina, zahvaljujući upravo europskom novcu, upravo europskim integracijama, upravo namjenskim sredstvima, Šibenik bilježi nevjerojatan uspjeh, ali u svim segmentima, ne samo u segmentu turizma, nego gospodarstva, kulture, dakle ono što bi naši ljudi rekli opće prepoznatljivosti. Rezultat je to kohezijskih fondova, rezultat je to zajedničkog dogovaranja i rada, rezultat je to želje, ambicije ljudi, pojedinaca da budu prepoznatljivi, da budu vidljivi, ali sada u zajednici naroda koji su baština kulture i prosperiteta. Postali smo članica Europske unije. U ovom trenutku grad Šibenik je postigao ono što je cilj europskog novca. Investicija, prepoznatljivost, samoodrživost, zapošljavanje. Zato ja želim s ovog mjesta vam poručiti, bez obzira na interesantne teme, bez obzira na prekrasne uvjete koje imate u AM Adria parku i hotelima Solaris, nađite trenutak, nađite vrijeme i posjetite sve ovo o čemu ste sada čuli. Posjetite povijesnu i kulturnu baštinu Šibenika, posjetite grad koji je našao sebe zahvaljujući europskim integracijama i europskom novcu. Uživajte.
Great. Thank you a lot. Definitely try to eat some food here in the old city of Šibenik. You will enjoy it. Let's go with Mr. Marko Jelić, Prefect of Šibenik, Knin County. You're welcome today. Nice to have you here.
Evo, prije svega pozdravljam vas na hrvatskom, a onda ću preći na engleski jezik jer su mi rekli da je jezik ovog događanja engleski. Welcome to Šibenik Knin County. I'm really happy that you are here because this is, like the mayor says, one of the beginning of Croatian state and Croatian nation is starting from Šibenik Knin County. The Šibenik and Knin, they are the cities of Croatian kings, and when you're looking our history and everything what is connected with us in near history and the far history is from this county. Also, I would like to say hello to the ministers, the both of them. I heard that the Prime Minister also will be here, the Mayor, and my colleague from Dubrovnik, County Prefect Dobroslavic, and all other people which are here. Okay, you probably noticed that I have here lots of things to read. I will not, because that will be for 1 hour, and you don't have 1 hour to listen to me. You know that you are in Croatia, which is our national item is starting with our beauty. That means that is our country is beauty to us. And we think that our country is the most beautiful country in the world, and it is. And the most beautiful part of our country is Šibenik County. And now when you know this, you know that you are in the most beautiful part of the world. So, in Šibenik you have 2 UNESCO monuments. Only 5 cities in the world have 2 monuments of UNESCO in one city, and Šibenik is one of them. The highest peak of Croatia, the Mount of Dinara, is in Šibenik County. We have 2 national parks, 3 parks of nature. We have lots of historical monuments and lots of history. And you know, the Croats innovated lots of things which we're using now. Some of them are from this county. For example, the parachute is from this county. And we are quite proud on our cleverness and the beauty of the country, but also we thinking that we are beauty, because lots of beautiful ladies in contents are from Šibenik County. Now, when I was so humble about us, I need to say that I hope that you will enjoy here. And also, I like to say that this county is not only touristical one. We are the most industrialized county on the coast. When you're looking per capita, 75% of our income coming from industry. And this is the reason why we are so deep involved in this project, for example, Interreg, blue and green economy. We're doing lots of things to protect that what our ancestors leave to us. Have a nice time here. I hope that you will visit us again and that you will have some time to walk around and that you will say, okay, that county prefect says a lot of truth about the region which he represents. And I need to say that we are quite hostile people. We have good gastronomy. Enjoy. That is that. Thank you.
He didn't lie about that. Mr. Jelic, thank you for your warm welcome today. And we are going to the third one. It's Mr. Jože Tomaš, Vice President of the Forum of the Adriatic Ionian Chambers of Commerce. Nice to have you here.
Before I start, Mr. Jelic, I'm coming from Split-Dalmatia County, so. Excellencies, distinguished ministers, honorable representatives, ladies and gentlemen, dobro jutro. It's a great pleasure being here at the annual EUSAIR Forum as the Vice President of the Forum of the Adriatic and Ionian Chamber of Commerce on behalf of the President of our association, Mr. Gino Sabatini, and the EUSAIR, the Civil Society Fora. Let me first thank the Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Croatia, Mr. Gordan Grlić Radman, the Minister of Regional Development and the EU Funds of Croatia, Mr. Šime Erlić, and State Secretary of Tourism and Sport of Croatia, Mr. Tonči Glavina, for invitation and the warm hospitality here in Split. I'm bringing you also the greetings from the President of the Adriatic Ionian Network of University, Uniadrion, Mr. Dragan Ljutic, and the President of the Forum of Adriatica and Ionian Cities, FAIC, Mr. Massimo Seri, with whom we cooperate in close contact. The Forum of the Adriatic Ionian Chamber of Commerce, which I represent, is a non-profit, voluntary and transnational association that puts together around 40 chambers of commerce in the region. Since 2001, the Forum has been operating with the aim of enhancing opportunities for the socio-economic development of the Adriatic and Ionian area, a political commercial basin that has always been considered strategic for the economic and commercial opportunities it offers. In fact, the area represents more than 4 million enterprises and 70 million inhabitants, generating almost 40 billion euros of exports among the 10 countries, 9.4 million passengers by sea, and 207 million tons of goods by sea transport. The importance of the three fora, which together counts about 150 institutions widespread in all the countries, has been also recognized in the official documents of the European Commission as the main representative of the EUSAIR civil society. From year to year, our strategic work is confirmed and further endorsed in the declaration of the Adriatic and Ionian Council EUSAIR Minister meeting adopted at the end of each chairmanship. At the 9th EUSAIR Forum, we also wanted to highlight other two significant issues. Firstly, the promotion of Mediterranean diet. It's not only a collection of food products, but also a lifestyle that promotes health, environmental sustainability, and the culture and social roots. In recent time, these values and traditions have been threatened due to the increasing globalization of value chains and access to cheap, lower quality, and artificial food sources. We know that the Mediterranean is recognized as a cradle of civilization. Therefore, its heritage should be treated as our most important treasures. Mediterranean diet has been on UNESCO's list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity since 2010. And to empower this importance, yesterday in Split, the three fora signed the Split Declaration on the protection and promotion of the Mediterranean diet in the Adriatic-Ionian region. This declaration commits to implementing initiatives, projects, and studies to promote a healthy lifestyle in the Adriatic-Ionian region. We are pleased to announce that this declaration, Split Declaration, has been included in the declaration of the Adriatic and Ionian Council EUSAIR Minister meeting held this morning. This is the first time a declaration of the three fora has been included in the declaration of the Adriatic and Ionian Council, and we hope that this will become a tradition. Secondly, we would like to highlight the significant challenges of the Adriatic-Ionian region is currently facing in terms of transportation. It is imperative that immediate action is taken to streamline the flow of goods across the EU and the Western Balkans. At that border crossing in the Adriatic-Ionian region, this situation creates obstacles for businesses and has negative repercussions which also affect the trade between member states of the EU that pass through the region and transit. I therefore invite you to participate in the roundtables organized by the three fora in cooperation with the Adriatic and Ionian initiatives happening this afternoon on the topic of Mediterranean diet, transport challenges, and the civic engagement of the students and young people. To conclude, I want to thank the Permanent Secretariat of the Adriatic and Ionian Initiative, both Ambassador Castelnaca and my dear friend, Mr. Fabio Pigliapoco, for the constant support of our activities. Let me also thank the Croatian presidency, in particular, Ms. Lidija Pasengrau-Hadrovic, for the excellent cooperation established with the three fora. Good luck to the incoming EUSAIR Greek chairmanship. You can count on our full support and cooperation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, President. Mr. Tomasz, thank you a lot for your kind words and for your welcoming us. And here with us is today Secretary General of the Adriatic Ionian Initiative, Permanent Secretariat, Mr. Giovanni Castellaneta. Benvenuti, cari amici.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for receiving us today in this beautiful city of Šibenik. It's a great opportunity, and welcome and good luck for your future work in these 2 days. Let me thank the chairmanship of the Croatian, Mr. Radman, and Mr. Šime Erlich, and the Minister of Tourism for helping us and organizing this great 2 days in Šibenik. When almost 30 years ago the Dayton Agreement put an end to the Balkan Wars, the international community indicated the integration into the Euro-Atlantic institution as a strategic objective to achieve stability and security into the Western Balkans. A commitment formally undertaken by the European Union with the Thessaloniki European Council 20 years ago. The economic crisis that hit Europe from 2008 to 2015 and the many turbulences experienced by the European Union in recent years, from Brexit to the divergences on budgetary policies, from the Ukraine crisis to the migrant emergencies, from the COVID-19 crisis to the green transition, a lot of things, have gradually postponed the acceptance of the Western Balkans nations. Those countries which belong to Europe for the history, culture, political aspiration, and geography must join the European Union as soon as possible and without hesitation, finally obtaining the membership. So completing our union has also a strong economic and geopolitical logic. If you look at the history of the last enlargement rounds, you see that they have shown that there are enormous benefits, both from those countries which access to the European Union and the European Union itself. Basically, all we win. You can see for the new members that citizen to business, there is access to the four freedom, access to the single market, citizen can travel, business have new markets. And all of this is a powerful lever to increase prosperity and therefore stability of these countries. Enlargement is also an investment in our security, because integrating the new members in the European Union also shields them from foreign interferences and therefore stabilize our neighborhood in times where we see that rule-based international and increasing called into questions. A large and stronger European Union gives us a stronger voice in the world. Enlargement is a unique opportunity both for the countries aspiring to join the European Union and, of course, for the Union itself. As for the AII role, our commitment to the foreign integration remains one of the cornerstones of the initiative mission. As permanent secretariat, we made sure that AII role of political anchorage to the EUSAIR is implemented and that AII activities are directed towards supporting the implementation and the accomplishment of the objection of the EUSAIR. Enlargement remains the top priority for the initiative, and through the years, the initiative proved to be a good training camp to have EU and not yet EU countries cooperating on an equal footing. The initiative had also the idea to bridge the so-called civil society, the Adriatic Union Forum, with the EUSAIR strategy, so as to be able to channel the needs and requests by also ideas and proposal of the civil society within the complex mechanism with a bottom-up approach. This has been requested in many occasions by the EU Commission to support the implementation of the strategy. I'm therefore really glad that participating countries endorsed the joint declaration of the three fora of civil society on the preservation and promotion of the Mediterranean diet in the Adriatic and Ionia region as a tool oriented toward health and environmental sustainability. A tool promoted by more than 150 chambers of commerce, cities and universities, and together that can serve as a model for future policy and initiative. This shows a high degree of complementarity with the EUSAIR, adding a more cultural and social dimension to the economic one. The overall result is a comprehensive set of strategies aimed at fostering integration in the region and bringing it increasingly closer to the European Union. In conclusion, I want to thank and congratulate the Croatian chairmanship for the work done during this year and for having established a friendly, fair and efficient cooperation with the Permanent Secretariat. And the presence here of so many people shows that the success is so tangible. I wish every success to the Greek chairmanship that will take over after the Croatian presidency. And Greek presidency has shown in the past also very firm and enduring commitment to the initiative. All the best for your working day in the next 2 days, and great success for your presence here. Thank you very much for your attention.
Signore Castellaneta, grazie mille. Okay. Thank you. We are ready for the next message, but the next message is not from here. It's a video message, and it will be from Ms. Elisa Ferreira, European Commissioner for Cohesion and Reforms.
Dear participants, dear partners, dear friends of cooperation, the history of our European Union has been defined by two key processes: deepenings and enlargements. Deepenings such as the single market, the single currency, and enlargements such as the one that welcomed the country I come from into the European Union, so Portugal, in 1986, the one that embraced the 10 new member states precisely 20 years ago, or the most recent enlargement in 2013, where we welcomed Croatia into the Union. These deepenings and enlargements have been the engine driving Europe forwards. So I am delighted that your meeting today is another step along the way to a deepening of our common policies in the shape of the European Green Deal. And in fact, I recognize and acknowledge that one of the priorities of the annual forum is exactly to concentrate on the strategy to deliver the European Green Deal, further preparing the ground for the future accession of the Western Balkans country, and this is another important element that we need to address. Both these objectives depend crucially on preparation, on administrative capacity building. This was one of the key lessons of European integration so far: the need for resources and know-how at every level. And now that the Western Balkans are set for accession, we face three key challenges. First, the Mediterranean area in general and the Adriatic-Ionian region in particular are environmental hotspots. The impact of climate change and biodiversity loss are felt particularly severely here. So I welcome the pivotal role of the new green dimension in the revised strategy. The second challenge is the brain drain. Among the 6 European countries with the largest population decline in the last decade, 5 of them are in southeastern Europe. Notably, North Macedonia and Croatia lost 10% or more of their population. In this context, I very much support your objective to significantly accelerate economic growth. Your targets are ambitious, and rightly so. In cohesion policy, we have expertise and experience from across Europe, both in terms of economic growth and in terms of retaining talent. I encourage you to draw on this experience, especially through Interreg, which brings me to the third challenge. And the third one is promoting governance. This is an essential support to any long-term strategy for sustainable economic and social growth. As was highlighted in yesterday's event organized between the Croatian Presidency, Interact, and Committee of the Regions, the strategy must better recognize the essential role of local and regional authorities. I support measures to further involve them in the governance of the Adriatic-Ionian strategy. This strategy has been a pioneer in the process of embedding, mobilizing all relevant administrations and funds. This is another opportunity for you to lead the way by more deeply integrating, in fact, local and regional entities and authorities. I also welcome measures to broaden participation to all key stakeholders, not just member states and regions, but also civil society, their organizations, the different institutions, the small and medium companies, and young people. Youth participation is especially important, since any future-oriented strategy will need their energy, their ideas. As we look to the future, I welcome the prospect of a prosperous and green Adriatic-Ionian region where the brightest and best of your homegrown talent are not forced to live. where there are many opportunities in thriving green technologies, blue technologies, and, for instance, sustainable tourism, and where every country is a proud example of our European Union and of our values: good governance, intense participation. Your work today makes a crucial contribution. I wish you a good discussion and thank you very, very much. Thank you.
This was a great motivation from Ms. Elisa Ferreira, European Commissioner for Cohesion and Reforms. And we are going to the next level. 2 more speeches, and then we have a panel. I think I can now invite Mr. Šime Erlić, the Minister of Regional Development and European Funds of Croatia, to give us his opening remarks for the start.
Dear ministers, dear Mr. Mayor, dear Mr. County Prefect, dear colleagues of the Adriatic and Ionian region, it's great to see you in so many numbers today here in our beautiful historic city of Šibenik. We are gathered here today to celebrate everything that connects us through the EU strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region. And I'm glad that we have opportunity to discuss the progress and achievements of the strategy and to debate about its future. With the aim of achieving all the goals outlined by the strategy, we have come to a point at which it would be wise to look back at what we have achieved after 10 years of EUSAIR and ask ourselves, can EUSAIR respond to a growing challenges of our time? Although we are different in terms of economic development and efficiency of institutions, we share the same vision of a common life and cooperation in the Adriatic and Ionian region. Macro-regional strategies brings us closer to the citizen and helps us to make bridges between the member states and non-member states, between the more and less developed regions, and between the West and East. This is the reason why macro-regional strategy is a powerful tool for the enlargement process. Joint meetings, exchange of good practices, and capacity building represents a good way for the participating countries to prepare and to fulfill the criteria to become full member state of the European Union. If you just take a look at Croatian path in EU membership and our experience of participating in the macro-regional strategies and Interreg programs, that kind of cooperation between the institutions and governments, both on local and national level, was crucial for transfer of knowledge and capacity building during our EU accession period. Our experience is practical proof that macro-regional initiatives and Interreg cooperation are the most concrete EU actions of the EU enlargement policy. In the post-27 period, the most important task for the macro-regional strategies, including this one, is to follow the path of the European cohesion policy and its mission to promote convergence and harmonious development. The 9 cohesion reports highlight challenges that remain, such as disparities between the urban and rural areas, regions caught in development trap, and that are lagging behind, and demographic transformation and green transition. Cooperation across borders on macro-regional level helps us address these challenges more effectively. Further to the above mentioned, demographic changes have impacted on many challenges, and many regions are facing out such as declining working age population, a departing younger population, and difficulties in retaining talents. And that is why we are strongly advocating that the demography should be tackled as a leading priority in post-27 cohesion policy perspective. That's why we are very proud to establish the 5th pillar of EUSAIR during our presidency, which corresponds with EU cohesion policy, a more social and inclusive Europe, including a thematic area which will be dealing with social issues. And second leading priority for the post-27 period on which we can all agree on is for certain security. International agencies treat Croatia as one of the safest countries not only in Europe, but also in the world. And this is something we often take for granted. Except for the most recent crisis caused by the aggression against Ukraine, All other security challenges, such as COVID-19, strongly affect economic growth and regional development. So security and resilience are the preconditions for the stable growth and the future of Europe. And that is why the international cooperation through EUSAIR and other macro-regional strategies is from most importance for all of us. We must work together in a way of tackling obstacles in Europe's cross-border regions, but most importantly, to give jointly answer on global challenges. Cooperation and cohesion as core of EUSAIR macro-regional strategy is more than just a concept, a policy or a strategy. It is crucial for future unity, solidarity, and progress within the EU. Let me conclude with a look towards next 10 years milestones, and I'm convinced that the engine of future European integration is macro-regional cooperation. At the end, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the whole presidency team for the excellent job that has been done. Thank you guys for everything that has been done last year. And of course, I also wish good luck to our Greek colleagues. I wish you a fruitful and successful forum today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Erlich. You should be definitely proud. Thank you a lot. At the end of this part of the program, last but definitely not least, I invite here Mr. Gordan Grlić-Radman, the Minister of Foreign and European Affairs of Croatia, as a host, first of all, and on behalf of Prime Minister of Republic of Croatia, Mr. Andrej Plenković.
Thank you so much, Katarina. But for your charming moderation and also by mentioning the nice weather today, but do not forget that it's not the first session or first meeting and we started with, yes, yeah, of course, but so today morning we started with our discussion with our representatives of the participating states, and we had a really fruitful discussion, and we adopted the declaration, and we spoke with one voice. That's very important. And yesterday we had, unfortunately, the rain, however, but so we had I'm sure that everyone enjoyed yesterday and during the dinner in this special atmosphere, old-fashioned village of Šibenik, and delightful food, of course, of this area. And then Šime today morning, he came from Zadar, and he brought the nice weather. However, that means that the weather has improved, and you will see today and feel, of course, a sunny day. Thank you so much. And so with your also, Katarina, moderation, however, but everyone knows that here's the atmosphere very well in all city of Šibenik, and that our friends from the region, from the macro region, came today, and we hosted as traditionally as good hosts. So, dear Minister Erlich, dear Šime, caro amico Minister Luka Bekari, so Prefect Jelic, and he is also with us together, another prefect from Dubrovnik, from South Dubrovnik, Neretva County, Mr. Dobroslavic. Thank you so much and for your speech, Mr. Mayor Buric, and of course for helping us in organizing this very, very important event these days. Deputy Minister, State Secretaries, my dear colleagues, not only from the Foreign Ministry, Minister for European Affairs, but also from other ministries, from Šime Erlich Ministry, Regional Development and EU funds. Secretary General Castellaneta, caro Giovanni, Director Tokarski, dobry den, Your Excellencies, and our friend from Greece, who is just taking over the duty of this very important initiative or strategy, Kalimera, dear friend from Greece. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it's my great privilege, of course, and honor to welcome you today on behalf of Croatian presidency, as well as in my own personal capacity to the 9th, as a technical minister, to the 9th Forum of the EU Strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region in Šibenik. Croatia has been always proud of its rich and diverse cultural heritage, deeply rooted in our both Mediterranean and continental and Middle European legacy. That reflects also in our participation in two macro-regional strategies with the same vigor, energy, and interest, the one of the Adriatic Ionian region, and that gathers, of course, us today, and the other one for the Danube region. We are also the member of the Danube Commission. We are a riparian country. Being for centuries on the crossroads of cultures and civilizations, we have been always recognizing the value of regional and macro-regional cooperation and their importance for building trust, partnerships, and friendships. For Croatia, cooperation in the Adriatic Ionian macro-region has always been a priority, where EUSAIR strategy has been instrumental in deepening our cooperation from Greece to San Marino. I'm particularly pleased that today's event is taking place here in Šibenik, historical city, as Mayor and Prefect mentioned already in their introductory speeches, that has been for centuries an important place on civilizational and trade routes connecting Europe and the Levant, from Adriatic via Aegean and Ionian seas. That means we are not by accident here. We just knew we wanted to be here in Šibenik these days with you. Today's Šibenik is also a clear illustration of the transformative power of EU membership and the EU's cohesion policy. These are all elements this strategy, and today's forum is about cooperation, integration, and its potential and benefits. I'm also delighted and grateful to see such high participation on this forum. It's about 750 people. We see this as an indication of vitality and attractiveness of the strategy, and we are very encouraged by that. Today's forum is at the same time the final and largest event of the Croatian one-year presidency. Yesterday, in my speech, hosting you and raising the glasses, I meant it was just a month ago, but it is a year ago when we took over the presidency in Sarajevo. So thank you very much for the representative of Bosnia and Herzegovina, also Deputy Minister Josip Brkić for an excellent presidency in last year, in last period. And of course, it's also the time to reflect on what we have achieved jointly during past year. And we have done it a lot. The past couple of years have been very important for the strategy. We have, together with the European Commission, brought the revision of the strategy to the very final phase. We updated our strategy to make it more relevant for the current day and age, so that it better responds to the needs and challenges of our macro region. We have also reinforced the link between the strategy and EU enlargement the processes, the processes and the process that Croatia so wholeheartedly advocates and will continue to do so. Just in the example is Bosnia and Herzegovina. For the very beginning, Croatia was a vocal proponent of the European perspective of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Who more than Croatia? And thanks to the Croatian support, our endeavors, and with our friends among the European Union, we are well engaged in this regards, and we helped to convince also our friends to open accession negotiation with Bosnia and Herzegovina. Once again, thank you so much also to Bosnia and Herzegovina for your efforts. It's a big historical step forward, and you can count so further on Croatia's support and assistance. It's our duty to have all the Western Balkans countries in the European Union. But of course, a merit-based approach must be respected, however. But we are here to help you with our expertise, with our experience. Because the hard work does pay off. And we have worked hard just to achieve our goals and to fulfill our criteria and everything what is just in common with our implementation of European values. Peace, rule of law, human rights, they are not alternative. And it's very important to be in this family with the name of the European, which is European Union. It's probably not perfect one, but there's not alternative for the European Union. We wanted the strategy to support the enlargement process more directly and efficiently, and I hope we have managed to do so. We strongly believe that macro-regional strategies have valuable potential for preparation and alignment of future EU member states in many key policies areas, as I mentioned. That was recognized by the Commission as well in its recent communication on pre-enlargement reforms. We see this kind of cooperation as a unique way of dealing with challenges we jointly share in a well-coordinated way through concrete joint action. Let me therefore conclude, so my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, excellencies, there are so many ambassadors here as well, that today, not only from this region, but also the other ambassadors who are just interested in this macro-region cooperation and strategy. So let me just conclude that today we need more regional cooperation, not less, and to promote, so we are obliged to promote regional cooperation and good neighborly relations. It's up to us. It's our responsibility. We therefore expect that the relevance of macro-regional strategies to be acknowledged today but also in the future by both the participating countries and the European Commission. European Commission is also here represented and present. In order to realize its full potential in the current financial perspective and beyond, we have to give them proper visibility, political ownership and commitment at the highest level. Croatia will continue to work this line and always strive to lead by example. Thank you once again for coming to this year's forum, and I hope your expectations will be fulfilled. I'd also like to congratulate and to express my gratitude to my colleagues of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs who just did a great job, and together with the Ministry of Šime Erlić and his colleagues as well. So it's a synergy, togetherness, and of course to the Mayor Burić and his people here, his collaborators, and thank you so much for helping us in organizing this very, very important event, not only for the ministry, it's of you, for our citizens, non-governmental organization and beyond, our students, our simple citizens, our people, ordinary people. I also hope that in the coming days you will also manage to see the beauties and richness of both the old and new Šibenik for those who are staying longer than planned. Probably Luka, so I know that so you have to go on the back in the afternoon, but I'm sure that so you will be back next time once again. Thank you so much, and I wish you a pleasant day. I wish you fruitful discussion, and just seize the day. Seize the day. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear Minister, for your time and for your insightful and motivational speech. Thank you all. I hope you are already a little bit mumbling. Concentration is going low. So that's time for discussion. Maybe it's the best time for discussion. Usually people say there's no better than discussion before or discussion after the action. I don't know which one do you like the most, but now I can call our first panel to come to the stage to take their seats. I'll start with the moderator first of all. So Miss Eleni Marianou, I suppose I pronounce it right. She's here? Yeah, okay. Take your seat. Wherever you like. I don't know, do you want to be so? Wherever you like. So, Ms. Eleni Marianou is Secretary General of the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions. Am I right? Yeah?
Indeed.
So it's CPMR. Yes, yeah, easily. CPMR is an organization founded in 1973 that gathers over 150 regions from 24 states from the European Union and beyond, representing around 200 million people. That CPMR campaigns in favor of more balanced development of the European territory. It operates both as a think tank, yeah, from one side, and as a lobby for the region Secretary General. Mariano is a barrister, let me say, specialized in international and European law. You have really plenty of guests today. So, first of all, Mr. Šime Erlić, Minister of Regional Development and European Funds of Croatia. One more time, please. Ms. Elvira Habuta, Director of the Directorate for European Integration of the Council of Ministers of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yes. Mr. Dimitrios Kalkos, Secretary General for Public Investments and PA, Ministry of Economy and Finance of Greece. You're welcome. Mr. Bojan Božović, State Secretary at the Ministry of European Affairs of Montenegro and National IPA Coordinator. Mr. Luka Bekari, Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Economic Cooperation and Telecommunication of San Marino. Mr. Marko Kopriv, State Secretary for Cohesion Policy, Ministry of Cohesion and Regional Development of Slovenia. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Slavomir Tokarski, Director at DG Regio, representing the perspective of the European Commission.
It's a great
fruitful discussion. Enjoy. You have 1 hour.
1 hour?
Yes. Will that be enough? No.
1 hour.
Each.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please don't go. Stay and listen to this very interesting debate we're going to have with the actors and protagonists of our strategy. So I think it's important that we come back and we listen carefully, because this is the moment to actually discuss during action. Because it's important, and you all know that today there is a lot of going on debate about the future of cohesion policy, about the future of the macro-regional strategies, about how we can do better with these tools we have in our disposal. And we heard the Commissioner to say that we should be deepening and enlarging our European project. So we are right in the middle of deepening and enlarging with this particular macro-regional strategy. And also, you, Minister, you said earlier on that we absolutely need to work on the macro-regional strategies for the European integration. Yes, because de facto, the macro-regional strategies have a European added value because it's beyond borders, beyond national authorities. It's all-inclusive in terms of stakeholders, local regional authorities that the Commissioner mentioned in terms of governance. And of course, you all said youth involvement of our citizens so that what we do has an impact on the people we represent, you represent in your own countries. So, having said all that, and since we have 1 hour and we want to hear more the protagonists rather than me, I would like to ask a question that goes to all of you. For us to be able to really be Pepsi and nice and not really boring, it will be good not to be too long. You see, I know politicians are never boring because they really say the right things, okay? I'm being politically correct here, but nevertheless, if you can, this one question will go to all of you, from your own experience, from your own, and then I know that Slavek has to disappear, so that I guess the second question will be, or rather, you will start, Slavek, this, because it's going to be very complicated for you to actually catch a flight otherwise. All right, my first question is what we have been discussing all here today. We are the EUSAIR strategy, 10 years of functioning. It's a long time and it's a short time at the same time, because it's the newest macro-regional strategy. Now, could you tell us from your own country experience, what have been the lessons learned or the fallouts, the things we could do better? Because we are here to also do better. We always can do better, right? And how can these kinds of experiences help in a way for the future of cohesion policy and macro-regional strategies that is coming ahead? So Slavek, if you want to start first, probably you don't represent a region or a country, but you represent a larger European Union. So please, if you want to start.
Thank you, Eleni, and apologies that I have to leave because I have a plane. I hate these situations, but it happened today. Well, I think if we look at what we achieved so far, it's a typical thing about the glass that is half full or half empty. I think there has been a lot of progress. This strategy has a well-functioning governance, and even more importantly, it is underpinned by the networks of expertise, cross-sectoral networks of expertise, which really allow to mobilize the knowledge and to think about new challenges or new areas of activity. So this is something that has been achieved, and we've also seen a lot of progress, on which I would like to congratulate Croatian presidency in the last year, when the strategy, the revision process, which is coming to an end right now, and the strategy is now fit for the new challenges. On the other hand, probably the expectations were slightly bigger. There has been some disagreements among the participants in the strategy, and they sometimes make the public image of the strategy maybe a bit suffer. Perhaps it's normal because this is the most complex strategy of all macro-regional strategies that we have in the EU. But let's move ahead and let's look at the future, because we are in a very particular moment when 5 countries that are members of the strategy are starting the accession process. And there I think we have quite high hopes about what the strategy could do for them. I mean, there is a whole range of issues starting from advocacy, starting from PR, public image of the strategy of the acceding countries, towards the help, very concrete help. We heard the minister talking about the sharing experience, helping the acceding countries to align with European policies in a very concrete way, helping them to accede the European funding, and generally speaking, breathing a sort of new ideas and creativity into the enlargement process, where we know that the acceding member states, they often feel this fatigue and they are sometimes quite tired with what has been happening until now. So I think we understand it quite well. I would like to give you one example before I leave of what could be done, because I think there is a little bit of underestimate of local level and the role of local level that they can play in the strategy. One of the most important findings of cohesion report that we recently published was that we are faced with a very complex challenges, and in the case of the Balkans, this is this mix of climate change, demographic decline, the effects of the war, energy poverty, what have you. So this is complex stuff, and if you want to address it in a sensible way, you need what? You need really a good quality of governance. You really need administrative capacity. And there is the feeling coming up from the cohesion report that this is a key to the success of the regions and also of local governments in facing these challenges. And I think you have to solve this, to exercise this, what Leta said, the fifth freedom, the freedom to stay home. And you need those people, you need these skills. And there, very recently, we opened our 4 programs from Interreg Sea Strand, Interreg Europe, Urbact, and so on, which are precisely about this. They are about cooperation between local and regional governments of the EU countries and non-EU countries. So for the first time, Western Balkans are also part of these programs, and they can use it as a platform to really bring up the quality of local government, to come up with innovative ideas, and to let the impulse of the enlargement really to propagate at the local level. So they really so-called ordinary people, common people, they can see that this can have an impact of their life and that the European Union has something for them as well. Thank you, and apologies once again.
Yes, you are excused, Slavek. We know you have to go. So governance, thank you very much for your contribution. Governance, added value, of course, is some of the words that have been mentioned in what Slavek said earlier. So can we start by you, sir, who was the host from Croatia then, with the same question?
Oh, with the same question, okay.
Yes.
Yes, of course, thank you once again. Well, I must draw back some conclusions with the Croatian example. I think that is important for the story, because this is the 10th year of the EUSAIR functioning, and the Croatian participation in the EUSAIR participates in the EUSAIR since the beginning. Also, Croatia is the youngest member state in here and really has a valuable experience with the macro-regional strategies and also with EUSAIR. In 2015, Croatia was also co-chair for the EUSAIR, and until then, if we draw back in time and see what we have achieved in these 10 years, I mean, in 2014, 2015, Croatia was faced with really significant challenges in terms of economy, demography, a decline in economy and stagnation, high unemployment, low GDP. So we really had our own structural problems. From then until now, we made our way through. So from then, we were at the beginning, when we entered the European Union in 2013, we were at the 60% of the GDP per capita European averages. Now we are at the 75% of the EU averages. So it means that we made a significant step forward in a relatively short time. Due to the COVID crisis and all crises that we have, we swiftly go through the COVID crisis and finish our complete integration into Euro and into Schengen. Right now, we can say that we are fully integrated within the European Union and that we have certain benefits because of it, and now we can feel it, and our citizens also can feel it every day. So it's a good thing. And when I link this to the macro-regional strategy, and especially the EUSAIR, I think that the experience of being there and that we have still a fresh memories of it when we want to enter the European Union and to become the member, joining the macro-regional strategy initiatives, taking part in Interreg, taking part from the local also and regional level into the Interreg projects was from most valuable experiences for the institutions, organizations, for the capacity buildup, for the transfer of knowledge from the member states institutions to the non-member state that we were then. And I think it was of greatest importance for all of us, and that made us, you know, who we are today. It helped us to build us a capacity in a relatively short period of time. And this is why I came to the point where I have to say what I have said at the beginning, that macro-regional strategy has to be seen, especially the EUSAIR, where there is more non-EU countries, non-EU member countries than member countries. That the EUSAIR macro-regional strategy is a powerful tool of integration. That's very important to highlight, because it really is like that. And I hope that in the next 10 years, when we celebrate 20 years of EUSAIR, that there will be even more member states than the non-member states within this forum. And I think it's a great thing, great achievement that we are here today, that we are discussing, that we are joined together here, all the countries, non-member states and member states, discussing about the future of Southeast Europe, but also the European Union as a whole, and how the macro-regional strategy can help. In terms, what I can see negative and to improve, I must say that I don't see nothing really negative. I see it very positive that we are here, that this is a great achievement, a great success. But I see constraints. Why? Because macro-regional strategy, it's not linked to financing. You still need financing through the member state budget or to the cohesion policy. And also, you need governments, as Sloman said. We have only as a forum, it's not very firm structure, I would say. That's normal, because we are here to discuss and to talk about the future and strategic things on which can we cooperate. But if we want to draw more impact, if we want to produce more impact on the region, we need more firmer governance, and we need more tighter connection to the finances in future. So that's
absolutely, you couldn't say it better, Minister. It's exactly that, and it's always important to actually speak about the things that we can improve, because then we can improve them actually, whatever. So it's the three no's. That's what you're saying. The three no's that have been imposed in all the macro-regional strategies have created some burdens, because then the alignment of the funding with what strategic priorities we have is missing. But these strategies is exactly what you said, is really where the birth of the integration of Europe will happen, from practical means, with everyone involved into the strategy, from action to strategy and from strategy to action altogether. Sorry, I'm being passionate about it.
Yeah,
yes,
that's great.
I know, you can hear that, right? Okay, no, Elvira, Habota, so the same question for you.
Thank you very much. Please let me first, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, allow me first to express my greetings and my personal delight to participate in this event. Of course, we do all remember the support that we have received during our chairmanship during the last period. What I just would like to stress at the beginning is I truly have no doubt that this event will be successfully organized, a forum as evidenced by its rich agenda. The EUSAIR plays a very important role in the EU enlargement, promoting regional cooperation, promoting economic infrastructural development, and of course alignment with the EU standards. The participation of Bosnia and Herzegovina gained new dimension, bearing in mind that Bosnia and Herzegovina became candidate country in December 2022, and also very important for opening negotiations with the European Union, very important key issues to our country. This enables us certain opportunities, and not just to cooperate within the EUSAIR with candidate countries, but also to be a part of decision-making process with the EU member states. To Bosnia and Herzegovina being a part of this system, of course, tremendously means a lot. A membership in the EUSAIR is definitely giving Bosnia and Herzegovina possibility and the opportunity to establish and improve its contacts with the EUSAIR participating country, but also to cooperate with them and also to further strengthen its capacities when we talk about the development of EU policies and methods of negotiations and certain actions. To Bosnia and Herzegovina, a very important experience was the presidency over EUSAIR during the last period, which was concluded last May in Sarajevo. I would like to use this opportunity, of course, to say that we are very pleased to receive the compliments regarding our chairmanship, what the Minister mentioned, and during our discussions. Of course, this success was based on excellent cooperation and great support from of course, all of you, all participating country. And I would like to highlight here especially the support from the Republic of Croatia and the Republic of Italy, our neighboring countries, to say so. This support was very important to us because it resulted in a large number of organized events that we have prepared, and of course including the forum itself. Very important here to emphasize that these events demonstrated the remarkable benefits because being able to have various participants from the various countries to talk about very important issues such as youth engagement and how to retain youth in the regions, also economic and circular economy, also sustainable rural development, introduction of new social pillar was very beneficial to us. Allow me to say just a few words about key shortfalls that you just have mentioned, and Minister Shim as well. We are all aware of free nose rule, as you said. But having in mind that macro-regional strategies have to rely on existing EU funds is very especially challenging for the candidate countries. Embedding priorities agreed within the steering groups and governing boards became the key issue. Yeah. And it's very important that embedding later on and maybe through various governance projects possibly give additional support, not just to all stakeholders, but also especially to the candidate countries in order to accomplish this challenge. I just would like at the end to emphasize that we are very glad that our Italian colleagues recognize the potential of the institution I am heading and awarded us one project and us a leading role in that project. And within this project, we will deal with embedding the priorities into IPA programming documents. Just one more sentence, of course, we do welcome the initiative and the intention of the European Commission to give opportunity to candidate countries and all these participating countries within the EUSAIR to be a part of decision-making process, because to us it means a lot and it gives us a certain opportunity to move towards a European path. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you very much. Exactly, because what we have said so far is the three no's are there for a reason. However, for you it's an important obstacle, isn't it, financial? But you get the leadership or the common leadership or the possibility to have a full participation in this strategy that brings a little bit what we try to do, cooperation and integration. It's good points to actually bring forward when this forum finishes to the European institutions, and that's what as CPMR we're going to be doing anyway. So back to Greece now then, future presidency. So the same question to you, sir. Dimitri.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm really honored being here, participating in this special occasion, in this very important event among distinguished colleagues. To respect the time limitations, allow me to comment on just 3 issues. First point I would like to make is that I wouldn't say about shortfalls. Every idea, every good idea, even the greatest idea, needs time to mature. This goes to the European initiatives as well. On the contrary, I'm quite confident and quite optimistic that after the 10 years experience, we are in the right place to go ahead. What we have achieved, and I refer to my country, but I'm well aware that the same goes to many other member states. In the new programming period, we followed an embedding process And now all our operational programs, all the regional programs, all the thematic programs of the Ministry of Economy and Finance have in their architecture, in their governance, in their goals and scope to promote the aims of our macro region. I think this is very important. But this is the second point. If I try to find something that could characterize as a shortfall, is the fact that I feel that we are left behind in terms of communication strategy. Perhaps we should have a common communication strategy, more effective, to promote our goals of this macro region. And the third point I would like to make, and I will try to be a little bit provocative, is that after the experience of the past 10 years, perhaps it is time to put some money where our mouth is. And in that sense, I believe that we must try and be a little bit more creative in finding some resources and having financial sustainability in the task we have ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's true, and I'm telling you because I'm living in Brussels for the last 35 years. Yeah, I know I'm a poor person living in Brussels under this beautiful weather there. So there is a reputation problem we have with the cohesion policy or with the macro regions, etc. People feel that this is really not very useful, yeah, when we are discussing for the future of the EU budget. So I think it's true. We need a strong communication strategy to say exactly what you're saying here, that we need these little building blocks to make sure that Europe retains the ideas as a project for the future. And it's important what you say, that we need to be innovative in the ways of the budget. What sort of budget we want? These 3 no's, can we not change them into 3 yes in things that could be really helpful for our countries and the candidate countries for the future? Thank you for this intervention. Let's move on. Yes, same question. Go ahead.
Thank you, Eleni. Poštovani ministre Grlić, poštovani ministre Grlić-Radman, dear excellencies, dear colleagues, thank you very much. And I just wanted to say that Montenegro, as one of the participating countries, this EUSAIR has benefit in several ways from its involvement in the strategy over the past 10 years. Regarding Montenegro, it is of great importance coordination of Pillar 1, Blue Growth, which is coordinating together with Greece. This pillar focuses on the sustainable development of the Adriatic-Ionian region's blue economy, directly contributing to the EU's blue growth strategy, integrated maritime policy, and overall environmental protection goals. Additionally, Pillar 1 helps channel EU fundings, such as structural funds, research programs, to local and regional projects supporting its objectives, furthering EU priorities in the region. During the previous period, Montenegro has received support for infrastructure projects, particularly in the areas of transportation, energy, and tourism. This has helped improve connectivity with the region and with the EU, enhancing trade and tourism opportunities. Additionally, through the EUSAIR, Montenegro has had opportunity to collaborate with other countries in the region and attract foreign investments. Also, I have to mention a few very important things. Speaking from the perspective of Montenegro, which has smaller population than many EU regions and has no administrative regions, for us the priority for macro-regional strategies is to promote territorial cohesion and good cooperation. For IPA country, this means strengthening cooperation in the areas covered by macro-regional strategies to foster innovation, development of lagging regions, and better governance at the macro-regional level. Furthermore, we would stress the importance of enhancing multi-level governance in the macro-regional strategies, which from the IPA perspectives would be particularly valuable in preparing for implementing cohesion policy and action perspective. It is stressed also to add that by the Council of the European Union in November, we have the new mission that is the growth plan, but after that I will speak probably in the continuing of, I can say, very fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Certainly, of course, even for small populations, the problems remain the same. You are a country with a small population, but the problems of every other country in this strategy remain the same. And definitely, being able to cooperate with other countries, it's something which always of use for the European added value. So I think we move on to San Marino. Is that the newest addition, isn't it? Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And well, first of all, let me say that San Marino is the last country joined the EUSAIR, and our concrete experience started only 2 or 3 years ago, first in the Adriatic Ionian initiative, and then by participating to the several governance mechanisms of the initiative. So I cannot say tell you about specific achievement in the last 2 years, but I can tell you that from our perspective, be part of a macro strategy. We are the smallest state of the macro strategy, is the opportunity to implement projects that in synergy with other countries that alone are impossible to handle. So the initiative and the strategy are two important pillars, even for countries with limited resources, to implement projects that are vital if we consider the common challenges that we are living in the European region. Resilience, face the challenges like the green transition, the digital transition are common problems. Doesn't matter if you are a big country or a small country. The format is the same. What makes a difference are the resources, human resources, natural resources, financial resources. So be part of a strategy is a key tool in order to make possible what is impossible alone. For us is another important meaning. When we joined EUSAIR and the Adriatic Ionian Initiative, respect to the European Union, we were only a third country. Now we concluded in December an association agreement with you that is not only an association agreement, is something more, is an agreement that will grant to San Marino the full integration in the single market. So, in a certain way, now the Adriatic Ionic Initiative and EUSAIR became more important for San Marino in this new context of integration. If we consider all the countries participating in the strategy, we can have the group of countries that are EU members, the group of countries that are going to be members, and San Marino that is in the middle, but we have taken this different path of association that is the result of 9 years of negotiation with the European Union, using the word of the Vice President Šefčovič, probably the most comprehensive agreement negotiated by the EU in the last 10 years. So I say that this is our perspective, our view. Of course, another thing is that it could be, seems like a trade-off, but is not. Learn to work with synergy with other countries in cross-border project helps to enhance even national cohesion on the specific project. Because sometimes it's hard to involve different entities, other ministry, political parties in embracing a project that is vital for the country. Do that together with other countries, sometimes let more easy develop this national cohesion and helps to share expertise in that field. For this reason, communication is the key, and probably we are living the stage in which we have to invest a lot in terms of communication, internal communication, but even external, because sometimes happen, no? That you are not perfectly known from outside. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, indeed, you say exactly the same things like others, even if you are the newest member, and even if you have a special attachment to the strategy, because the challenges are the same. The solution could be similar, not the same, but similar. So it's in our hands to make sure that this capacity building we are gaining could be to the benefit of our people, young individuals, citizens. And now we go to Slovenia. Please. Yes, the same question.
Thank you very much for passing me the word and for the question. Honorable ministers, esteemed excellencies, distinguished delegates, and dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me at first that I thanks to our organizers for this wonderful meeting here in beautiful Šibenik. You are really, really good guests, and you give us warm hospitality and very, very nice event here in Dalmatia. I want to stress a few, maybe 3 or 4 most important issues for Slovenia. Firstly, Slovenia sees the EU strategy for Adriatic and Ionian region as an important cooperation framework. We have also recognized the Adriatic and Ionian strategy as an important mechanism for the EU enlargement to Western Balkans, which is very important. For the success of the strategy, equal footing for all participating countries is the most important. Slovenia can account significant results from priorities and activities in all 4 thematic pillars. The EUSAIR proven itself as a platform to approach maritime issues from a cross-sectoral perspective. A way for the countries to find solutions for sustainable use of resources, minimizing environmental pressures from different economic activities, and with that ensuring prosperity of coastal communities and broader. Maybe a few words about cohesion, future of cohesion. Also for the future, Slovenia stays a reliable advocate of a strong and resilient cohesion policy. Investments in economic and social development are crucial for ensuring coherent regional development and equal quality of life. We also strongly support the continuation of Interreg programs, which are very important for this strategy. Especially in the context of macro-regional cooperation, they play a significant role and could be used even more strongly to create synergies among projects funded through nationally managed programs. The future regulatory framework can support and speed up this process. And a few words about social pillar. One of the key European qualities is our social perspective. Slovenia finds the priorities and activities of the newly established social pillar crucial for the future, especially as regards youth employment and entrepreneurship, skills development, adapted to labor market needs, and cooperation in development of social innovations in active aging. In the preparation of the partnership agreement for 2021 to 2027 programming period, we made a comprehensive and harmonized list of 19 macro-regional priorities which were added to the Slovenian cohesion program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we can hear, of course, issues that you mentioned in terms of how it has helped enlargement in the Western Balkans to have this strategy, because we have the participants from both parts in all shapes and forms of cooperation, which is excellent. And obviously, you're looking into the future cohesion policy suggestions. You have been making a strong cohesion policy, which I can tell you, it's not granted, it's not something we're going to all get. So it's probably best that we all work towards this cohesion policy with some good examples we can bring to the European institutions, and not Mrs. Ferreira, but I would say more people in DG Budget, that they are preparing the future framework for the European Union budget. So we don't have much time because we're supposed to have lunch at 12:30. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to ask your individual questions. Maybe I can give you the floor. We've said several things together to make a closing statement, all of you, to think what will be a message you want us to take with us leaving this forum. What will be the message from each country that you think this is really important? That's the message I want to pass across as a closing statement. If you are okay, so in that case, we can all have our heart into it and then also go to eat properly with everybody else without boring everyone. So can I start again with our host? What will be a message you would like us to keep, something that you think it's important? The social pillar, it's something that you mentioned in your speech, is very important for Croatia. It was also mentioned by Slovenia earlier on. It's an important element. Give us your message on that particular subject or any other subject.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, thank you. I think that the social pillar that was introduced as the fifth pillar from our side is particularly important, and it is being introduced in the right time for Europe, and that we need it really more today more than ever. I mean, Europe is getting older. It's estimated, I have read in cohesion paper review report, that that will be decrease of 7% of working age population by the 2040. That's about 15 million people, working age people. And it means a huge challenges for the labor market. It means a huge challenges for the pensions. It means a huge challenges for the healthcare system. And we have to make some solutions. I mean, furthermore, most of the EUSAIR countries are coming from the southeast, especially non-member states. They're facing even more of these challenges. They're feeling it even more. With it, they're facing also the brain drain, the low of employment, and still lagging behind in many areas by the EU averages. So I think that is of most importance today that we tackle demographic challenges. It's not just a question of one member state. I think I might say that not sounds too dramatic. It is a question of existence of the whole Europe. And we are strongly advocating this for the post-27 period to be included as a leading priority. This is why we have introduced also the social pillar, because we think that we should tackle it more focusedly, and we can do it with all sorts of measures. And this is why I said it's not possible to tackle it only through one member state policies. We have to join together to work on this part of the Europe together in terms of making skill acquisitions for the future labor market. Enable decent work for the people, diffusion of the innovation through all of the region, because it is important to make it more competitive for the skilled labor force to come in these countries, to make better ecosystem for them. We want these countries to work together on it, to have more focused social measures that are tackling really the young families to stay and the freedom to stay, to build the environment for them to be here. And this is where we see also the power of Interreg that helps, but the Interreg needs more financing. I believe that we should all fight for more financing also for the Interreg and the macro-regional strategy as such, but also ADRIAN, Interreg, and everything else that goes with it, because it has such a good examples of people-to-people projects and projects that are really closer to citizens, where the local organizations are on macro-regional and on cross-border level are cooperating together on making better living conditions for the people. This is what I see particularly important, and that would be also my message. So I think that advocating demography for the next 27 period is very, very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And just for information, you know, in Brussels, there is a nice report that has come out by former Minister of Italy, Mr. Letta, who is addressing the single market. Mm-hmm. And within, because you said a sentence that is exactly what Mr. Letta said. Everyone, he says, as you know, the cohesion policy has been created to counter the problems that single market may create in countries that they are less powerful, as maybe Germany or other more northern European countries. And that's what the role of the cohesion policy is. So in the report there, it says we need the two, single market and cohesion policy, to work for prosperity in Europe. And every citizen in Europe has the right to stay. The right to stay where they are born and where they want to continue university working in our areas, in our peripheral, maritime, islands areas, because that's important. The right to stay. So it's exactly what you said. Okay, your message then.
Yes, I just have to say that of course, I do agree with what Minister Erlich said, but if I just, coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina, candidate country, to us it's very important to monitor and to link thematic priorities that we do have within EUSAIR to the initiatives from the European Union regarding Western Balkan countries, such as Growth Plan Initiative. For us, it's very important, and I strongly believe that this initiative should strengthen the connection between the countries, participating countries and candidate countries within the EUSAIR, but also to contribute to speed up the process and the rate of convergence of the Western Balkan countries towards the EU. Therefore, I strongly believe that colleagues will, within their meetings and their consultations and their further discussion, combine, conclude, and complement these initiatives from the European Union with certain thematic priorities. Fully agree with the social pillar, and maybe just to add one more thing regarding how important it is to have this platform for dialogue and a platform to discuss, because we see that as our benefit. As I said, Bosnia and Herzegovina was granted candidate status and has open negotiations with the European Union, and that is, of course, also contributed by the Friends of Western Balkan group within the EUSAIR members, giving us this full support. Therefore, I really would like to use this opportunity to thank especially member states, EU member states within the members of the EUSAIR, such as Italy, Croatia, Greece, and Slovenia. So I think it's very important to also enforce and to strengthen a dialogue and a regional cooperation as well, along with these initiatives, to combine them with other priorities, thematic priorities that are within the EUSAIR agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. Very specific proposals we are making of how to link, you know, everything, priorities, thematic priorities, through the dialogue into speeding, in the end, the integration, because that's the whole point of the exercise. Thank you very much for that. Yes, Dimitris.
Thank you for the question. As you are well aware of, the next year will be a crucial year for shaping cohesion policy post-2027. The challenges are ahead of us, the problems are already here. I refer to the well-known problems of climate crisis, of ever-accelerating technological change and automation, demographic stagnation, and the new phenomenon of development trap, Actually, yesterday at the dinner, we exchanged views on this matter, and we found out that we have many regions and areas in our macro region, Adriatic and Ionian, that are stuck in this development trap. So what will be one of the main priorities of the next Greek presidency is to bind together more closely cohesion policy and our initiative. This will be very important. Actually, there is no reason not to do that because both these two tools are referring to the same aims and have the same scope, tackling economic, societal, and even geographical inequalities. So we have to work in parallel and in a common goal. Apart from this, when we refer to development trap, actually believe we refer to skills, and this should be an investive priority for cohesion policy, and to promote this upskilling and reskilling of the workforce, even through our actions in the macro-regional strategy. And the last thing I would like to mention is that we need to invest and exchange views on the capacity building issues. This is very important. In fact, when we are talking about the aim of the enlargement, we support, of course, the enlargement. In any case, we have to build on good practices. In Greece, we know that cohesion policy can act in a supportive way in this task. So, investing in skills and investing in capacity buildings of the capacity building of the beneficiary, the main beneficiaries of our policies, I believe that in the end will make a difference.
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much. So upskilling and, of course, capacity building, and definitely watch out for the cohesion policy, because all those elements, they will be used somehow. So I call upon your countries to make sure that you are supporting this policy, because it's not going to be an easy conjunction. Yes?
Thank you very much. I have to say that we absolutely agree with all arguments that our colleagues mentioned, especially when we talk about the coalition cohesion and, of course, the experience exchange. Also, I want to mention one very important thing, that Montenegro has benefits from the initiatives aimed at preserving biodiversity, promoting sustainable fisheries, and addressing marine pollution, which are crucial for other countries, coastal areas, and tourism industry. Also, in my first speech, I mentioned this growth plan. I have to say that today we are in the beautiful Šibenik, but not so far from us in also beautiful Qatar. We have a summit of Western Balkans leaders, a very, very important regional initiatives. And on this place, in this city, leaders will discuss about this growth plan. One also important initiative for Montenegro and also for the Western Balkan country. Why? Because I have to mention that I absolutely and fully agree with the Minister Grlić Radman. He mentioned that the rule of law, merit base, is also very, very important for the candidates country in this moment, and this growth plan can be very helpful for us in this process, especially because we really, really support this idea, and we hope that Montenegro will be the part of the European Union as soon as possible. And because all of this, I have just to say that I'm very happy because I'm here in Šibenik in Croatia. Thank you, host, and of course, I have to wish good luck to Greece in presidency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very well done. So we are also having some specific thematic activities that you mentioned on fisheries and maritime activity or maritime planning. And it's very important what has been said also in this discussion when we speak about future cohesion policy, that we are looking at the EU and the non-EU and see how all these would work together so that the cooperation areas could work perfectly well in what they want to develop. So that's also another aspect that, of course, has been mentioned and is useful for us to take up as a suggestion. Yes, San Marino.
Well, I share too the point raised by the colleague, and I will just try to add some very quick point. I think that the macro-region approach is probably the best way to implement project intervention policies that are coherent with the principle governing the European family. I say family because we consider European Union, you consider all the countries that are candidate for the European Union, that are in the European Economic Area, no? So a very big family,
yeah.
More than 27, if we consider, no? In the perspective of the area of influence, and the best way to implement this policy intervention project, taking in consideration the differences and that naturally we have from macro region to macro region. Of course, priority, needs, timing, maybe even the capacity to implement projects are different from macro region to macro region, and so this is the why we consider this approach vital if we consider European Union or European region something that is in the next future becoming a very bigger family, no? So probably 30 years ago, 20 years ago, was more easy implement principal intervention when the European Union was only a group of 10 countries. Now is more difficult. Tomorrow will be even more difficult. So the macro-regional approach, I think, is the key for the efficiency of the implementation on policy and strategy. I have to say that we given a very, very big signal thanks to the Croatian presidency. With the fifth pillar, we have enlarged the scope of the strategy. So now we have a more wide sphere of activities, operation. Social pillar is a challenge because it's a very wide pillar. It can involve a lot of matter, another field of cooperation. Probably the challenge is work on it in the next future and try to focus more on this very, very wide pillar. But this is the road, this is the key. We cannot only stay on the traditional pillar without considering the social sphere.
Absolutely.
That link everything together. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So deepening and enlarging in the larger family and social pillar important, as also the Minister of Croatia said, for making sure that there is a follow-up for all our people in this kind of direction. Last but not least, Slovenia, your message.
Thank you very much. As I stressed before, we in Slovenia, when we were preparing a new cohesion program, we put in our program 19 macro-regional priorities. So I think that this is very, very important that cohesion programs are, have these important macro-regional priorities because this is important for all the region. In the view of the future cohesion policy, we should better use the potentials of the macro-regional cooperation. Macro-regional added value needs to be demonstrated, communicated, and recognized. The strategy and its governance support projects are certainly striving towards that objective. I can say that from the perspective of our ministry, leading by the EUSAIR facility point. Still, to speed up the process, the macro-regional framework needs to be strengthened and become more present in the regulations as well. In this regard, we have commitment and expectations from the ongoing 27+ consultation process. Slovenia, together with Italy, is hosting the concluding event of the Interreg and macro-regional consultation process on future of cohesion policy that will be organized by the European Commission in March 2025 in Nova Gorica and Gorizia. So this is very important event, and you are all invited to this event. And the second event is in Isola. EUSAIR is starting, as we tell, the discussion about the future of cohesion policy at this forum. As a regular guest of the Mediterranean Coast and Macro-Regional Strategies Week, organized each year by EUSAIR Facility Point at the Slovenian coast, I am all of you inviting to continue this debate in Isola in September this year. So, all invited in Isola, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much all. I must say that has been a debate that has been contributing, like complementing one another. So I liked very much the way you have all spoken about it. I have some 3 lines of what has been said, more or less. You all gathered, of course, what has been said. It's important to strengthen in the future this cooperation, this macro-regional cooperation. It is very important for the integration of Europe that macro-regional strategies such as the Adriatic-Ionian strategy exist, because enlargement is not a negative thing, it's a positive thing, but needs to be deepened and prepared in a way that everybody is taking advantage from both sides of the EU or the non-EU, so that we go into this bigger family that somebody has been saying so far. Now, another thing that has been mentioned across the interventions is the social pillar, which accompanies, and that's of course congratulations to the Croatian presidency to introduce this pillar, because it's an important component of how the integration will happen in a way that everybody would be able to actually follow up, skilling, upskilling. And obviously, skilling, upskilling has been mentioned everywhere, capacity building has been mentioned everywhere, and communication, internal and external. It's important to say what we have achieved, because, as I said, the reputation is not there, but we are here, you are there. You can say these things loud and clear, because for the future of cohesion policy, we need to know the added value of such structures, like macro-regions, like Interreg, like cooperation, like cohesion policy. And maybe little by little we can turn the 3 no's into 3 yes. Nobody said we're going to create a brand new structure, but we may need a coordinating mechanism, a bit more reinforced than we currently have. We may need more money to make sure that the whole thing happens, or we may align better the money to the priorities. So we have things to say, and we have, of course, things to say among all of us here with the members. And I would like to ask you all for a round of applause for our ministers, that they have been so passionate and so to the timing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mariano?
Eleni. Mariano, but Eleni is easier.
Okay,
yes.
I want to learn how to pronounce it. One more, please welcome and thank you for all your insightful informations today on our first.
Good afternoon. I'm glad that we see quite few people from after lunch. I know that it's going to be hard